What is the best division in boxing at the moment? I think bantamweight looks very good. We're on the cusp of another World Boxing Super Series tournament there, with the top 4 guys being all very good contrasting talents, and the top 2 guys for my money, despite Ryan Burnett being the #1 seed, Zolano Teti and Naoya Inoue. That is going to make a really interesting final. If Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder comes off, then the heavyweight division becomes particularly interesting, but I'm surprised to hear myself say that I think the best division in boxing at the moment is middleweight. Now, a few years ago when Gennady Golovkin was working his way up through the ranks, it was a time whereby, even though we were getting excited by the concussive Kazakh, that was kind of offset his really good performances at that time by the fact the opponents weren't really that good. The likes of Marco Antonio Rubio, Matthew Macklin, there wasn't really much to shout about, and 2014 was also the year in which Miguel Cotto took out a injured Sergio Martinez, who really looked like his body was failing him at that point. And at the same time, Cotto was kind of avoiding and seemed tentative at the prospect of fighting Golovkin, so really didn't have much integrity at that point. But now, 4 years on from then, we've got the rematch between Golovkin and Canelo, which, even if you think Golovkin's getting a little bit older, it might even be a bit past it now, and we're not sure whether Canelo was on anything, there's got that controversy to it, it's still a really good top-flight middleweight contest. And then the next month, after September and October, we've got 2 really good fights there. 2 dangerous fights for 2 guys who wanted to crack at the top 2 guys still. And that is Danny Jacobs against Sergey Derevyanchenko. And Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Demetrius Andrade, who's coming up from light middleweight, but is more than big enough. I think he's 6'1", got a pretty good reach. Pretty big dude, easy can make middleweight. And that's a tough fight for Billy Joe Saunders, who's putting his WBO strap on the line and possibly a future crack at one of the top 2 guys. He's wanted to fight, I think. He's warmed to the idea of Golovkin because he's seen he's slowed, and he wants to fight. He'd love to fight Canelo as well, who's a bit stuck in the mud, feels he could maybe get the better of him, and of course it would give him a lot of money. And Jacobs, Derevyanchenko, that's another good. So 3 really good fights set up there in the middleweight division, which about 4 years ago, there wasn't really much to talk about in terms of just watching Golovkin do his thing. So for me, that is the best division at the moment, because a good division is all about, have you got the talent there, and then it's, are the good fights being made? And with middleweight right now, you've got 3 fights in the immediate future, which are all meaningful, good fights. And I'm not sure you can say that about any other division right now, with really good fights being hard to often make when there's something on the line. And then, of course, also with middleweight, you've got Jamal Charlo, the bigger and more powerful of the Charlo twins, who would love to fight whoever wins either one of those 3 contests. So future prospects as well with 160 pounds are looking pretty good. But that's my current opinion as things stand. Whether any division will become a golden era, you can never tell until the dust has settled and we look back retrospectively. But what do you think? What do you think is the best division in boxing at the moment?